Next thing we're going to do is look at some more algebraic expressions that we want to write, and we will have to think really carefully at how we're going to set these up. And sometimes it helps to translate them or write a phrase that's much simpler and then think about how that phrase will translate. So we have a vending machine that contains X quarters. We want to write an expression for the value in dollar of the quarter. Okay? So we want to write an expression for the value. So a quarter is worth 25 cents. So it's the value is 25 cents per quarter that we have. Okay, so the more quarters I have, the more 25 cents I have. And so using that as a framework, we can say, okay, well, 25 cents is 0.25. Per tells me the operation multiplication, and then quarters is represented by the variable x. So our expression is 0.25x. Two numbers have a sum of 20. If one number is x, represent the other number as an expression of x. So what we can think of is we have one number is x amount of 20. So if x was 10, it would be 10 of the 20. If we had x was 7, it would be 7 of the 20. We don't know what it is, but it's some amount of the 20. Our second number is the rest of 20 when we take out the first number. So our expression will be what happens when we take out x from 20. Next, we have the number of grams of fat in x pieces of bread if each piece of bread contains 2 grams of fat. So we could think of this as there's 2 grams of fat per every piece, which we can use to translate that as 2 times x pieces of bread, 2x. An older sister is 8 years older than her younger. The age of the younger sister is x, represent the age of the older. So we have the younger is the younger plus 8 years is the older. So if the younger, the age of the younger sister is x, we can translate this to be the younger sister plus 8 more years. If x is the first of 2 consecutive numbers, 2 consecutive integers, we want to represent the second integer as an expression in x. And so consecutive means one after the other. And since we're dealing with integers, we can add by 1. So a consecutive number is 1 more than the previous. So if our previous number is x and we add 1, that gives us the next consecutive number. Side note, if we wanted the next even or odd, and this is assuming we're starting with an even or an odd number, it would be x plus 2 to get the next even or the next odd value. Sales tax on a purchase of x dollars if the tax rate is 9%. So tax is calculated, tax is a percent of the cost. So to start, this looks as though we have a percentage, 9% of means multiplication, and cost is x. But we don't ever actually multiply with percents or do any operation with percents. We have to write them in decimal notation, 0.09 times x.